Okay, there we go. Sorry. Apparently I didn't go live. That was very strange. Okay. I apologize. Anybody who's watching now, start today. I started apparently a little early, or late, as you want to call it. This is Chaz Says Anything, episode 53. As I said before, if you didn't see this, I got a little bit of new hairstyle, or a new color. No more gray, at least for the time being. This is the NFL Week 1, highs and lows of the week. Start today, it was already on, saying, are you ready for some football? I was, until I saw that game, and we'll talk about that in a little bit. But as I've said before, and I'll say again, if you like what you see or hear, click the subscribe button in the bottom right-hand corner. The more people that subscribe, the more people that will get the notification that I am on when I'm on. If I'm not on Tuesdays, which hasn't happened yet, I might be on other days. I have my kids this weekend. Maybe they want to do their picks on Saturday. Who knows? We'll see. I even have my nephew this weekend. So we'll see what they want to do, if they want to do this or not. I don't know if they want to do their picks. I might have to do their picks for them with them behind me. Obviously, you can see what's behind me. It's a small little area. It's not like the big place I had when I was in my other place back when I first started this podcast. So, like I said, those might be picks that are coming possibly on Saturday. We'll see. But for right now, I want to talk about what happened in my football pool. Chaz K's 2024-2025 NFL Confidence Pool Week 1 winners. Congratulations to Mike Wojcik, first place. If I go to his picks, I'm going to see he only got 2 games wrong. Okay? He had 260 points won. Very awesome. That's very awesome. I would hope you will be watching and see that I'm congratulating him, but obviously not. I see a window behind you. Yes, that's because I moved the thing onto the side. I don't need that. It is what it is. I need air. Let's put it that way. It's a little warm in here. Only have so much. Anyway, let me go back to my banners. Okay. And then second place, my buddy at work at Kerry Ingredients, Michael Hearns, got second place, 234 points. He had 3 wrong. So getting back to Mike Wojcik, he got the Tennessee game wrong. He picked Tennessee at 2 and Cincinnati at 4, which everybody got Cincinnati wrong. 34 players, all 34 players picked Cincinnati. That was a game, and we'll talk about that. Mike, 234 points, 3rd through 7th. This is how tight this confidence pool is. 3rd through 7th were 2, 4, 6, and 8 points back of second. That's how close everything was. Second place, like I said, Mike Hearns had 3 wrong. His big one is 14 on Cincinnati. They won. The first and second place win the money. 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th, and 7th. I'll tell you who they were and how close they were. So Mike Hearns had 234. Next behind him, Larry Blumenthal, 232. Had 4 wrong. No, sorry, he also had 3 wrong. And if he didn't pick the Giants at 1, he would have been tied for second place. That happens. This is how this confidence pool is. Angelo Quinones had 4 wrong and 4 points back. Quidada, Mike Hearns' wife, was 6 points behind. My brother Kevin Kawas and Andrew Fuentes were tied to be 8 points back. That's how close this was. Like Mike Wojcik, destroyed. He had a great pick. I mean, honestly, picking Pittsburgh over Atlanta in Atlanta, that was a bit of a shock. And he had it at 9. He had Dallas at 16, which a lot of people weren't going that ballsy on that. And I get it. Dallas at 16, that was a rough one. And he's the one that did it because, somebody else did it. Patrick Dillahunt. No surprise, Patrick. He's also a Cowboys fan. So a lot of the Cowboys fans on my pool did pick this. So, congratulations to both Mike and Mike. It would have been close. Patrick would have won if the Jets came out on top on this. But that didn't come to fruition. All right. We've got a comment. Let's see. I just noticed nice hair, Chest. Thank you. I appreciate that. Appreciate that. So it means you're not on Facebook. You didn't see my Facebook post from 2 days ago. Anyway, so let's go over my pick 6 from last week. Wasn't good. I had the Giants winning. That Minnesota destroyed us. I'll say this. I'll talk about each game as I go because I want to talk about this. What is going on? I had the Yankee game on. Really? Hold on a second. Why is this on? Whatever. I had the Yankee game on. Now something came up. Why? Yes. Why can't I see it? Whatever. Okay, I'm getting annoyed because now I can't can't pay attention to the game too while it's going on. Anyway, Giants looked pathetic. The team as a whole looked pathetic. And I'm not being a homer here. I'm telling everybody now, this is not a homer statement. Daniel Jones is not the sole reason we lost this game. There were penalties on the offensive line. Bad penalties. The defense couldn't stop Justin Jefferson. I mean, you want to contain Justin Jefferson. That's really the goal. You can't stop him, but you can contain. And they did contain him when Pinnock actually got in. But Deonte Banks should have had no part of this. He should have been on the other side, taking on a lesser receiver. He could not cover Justin Jefferson. How the Giants defense and the coach and whoever else is running that stupid show didn't see that. That's more the issue than Daniel Jones. His one huge mistake, and I'm almost going to put this on Joe Shane, who intercepted the ball when Daniel Jones did that stuna out of a play. Who took that ball? Does anybody remember? 2 people are on. You Giants fans? You see the game? I'll tell you who. Van Ginkel. That name should be synonymous and emblazoned in every Giants fan's brain. He was a free agent. Why in the blue hell did Joe Shane not pick him up as a free agent when he left Miami? Let him go to Minnesota. And that's our first game. And who's the one who took out Daniel Jones when we played Miami? Van Ginkel. There's a lot of blame to go around game 1. The coach, Dable, did not trust Daniel Jones to throw the ball down the field. You can't tell me that, Daniel Jones just didn't throw the ball down the field. There were designed plays. They were going by what Dable was calling. I don't think he trusted him. Remember, there was 2 design runs in the first quarter. 2 design runs where Daniel Jones catches the ball and runs. Only running quarterbacks do that. And especially in college. That's what they do. Guess what? Daniel Jones did it. And first one worked. Second one, not so much. I didn't want to rant in the beginning, but you know what? It is what it is. I knew this was going to happen with DJ. I'm getting, and I've said this before, and to other people who've called him this, I'm not going to get into fights on social media because I'm just not going to do it. I'm done going like jockey worrying on my phone. I need more sleep than I need to deal with that. Daniel Jones is not trash. He needs to be given a chance to actually play. We're paying him, and yes, it's Shane's fault for adding that on him, but guess what? This is his final year that they have to pay him. If he does bad for 17 games, they can drop him. And then I think that they're already looking at doing that. They're looking at these quarterbacks in 2025 and for 2024 for college right now. I'm telling you, there's Giants scouts there. I'm so done with people who are not Giants fans because they you bet with the Giants or they bet on him, I'm sorry. It's just, you can't. I mean, you seriously can't just go off on Daniel Jones like that. You got to break it down even more. Breathe. Okay. I got another comment. It's okay to rant, Chaz. You say anything, I'll agree with you. Okay. I appreciate that. I'm done with people saying he's trash. Watch the game, how exhausting it is, but watch the game. Okay, what else did I pick? So I was wrong on Giants. Philadelphia, Green Bay. I was right. But that was a close game. And now we know Jordan Love is hurt. That's going to be a little shoddy and I said shoddy, for Green Bay. Because that's not going to be, they're just, I don't know if they could do well with their backup quarterback. We'll see. We will truly see what Green Bay is. But Philly, they weren't perfect. And ESPN's broke it down. Fox Sports broke it down. Philly will figure it out. I have no doubt that Philly will figure it out. Now, I thought Baltimore could go into Kansas City and beat Kansas City. I got ripped for this. You know what? Kansas City didn't win this game. Baltimore lost it. Xavier Worthy had 2 great plays, and they kept throwing to number 1 on Kansas City. I don't remember his name now. But they kept throwing to... Patrick Mahomes had a bad game. He was undervalued if you look at his fantasy score. Kelsey had 2 catches. They shouldn't have won this game. Baltimore handed them the game. Baltimore will figure this out. Baltimore's favored severely next week. I think Vegas even realizes they're annoyed what happened. They should have won that game. They didn't. And to the people that said to me that, oh, Mahomes, you can't not bet on Mahomes. I've had Mahomes for 3 of my 5 years in fantasy. Not once did I win fantasy with just Mahomes. And Mahomes has had boner games in many of those 3 seasons I had him. I did better with Lamar Jackson. When the 1 year I had him, I made it into the playoffs with Lamar Jackson and the team I had. I should have thought of that and picked Lamar Jackson because I think he got more points on Thursday night too. All right, next, Jacksonville, Miami. That game could have went either way. Miami ends up winning, and I'm not too hard on that one. Chicago beat Tennessee. I thought, Chicago would beat Tennessee. That was a lot closer than I expected. I really think Chicago has the team. And unfortunately, Odunze is now hurt, so who knows if he's got a team. Or if he's going to be on the team for the next 2 or 3 weeks. And then, obviously, the Jet game, I did have San Francisco. I did not think the Jets were going to win. I thought the Jets would come close. They really didn't look it last night before I went to bed. So I'm 3-3 on my pick sixes. Okay? I'll get to my pick sixes in a little bit. Let's go to the rest of the NFL. So I talked about KC on Thursday. I talked about Philly on Friday. And I'm going to apologize for the people I told that they weren't wearing green. I was wrong. They're wearing some green. I guess if you mix the green with something else, you can wear what you wear in Brazil. Everything I was reading, that's what ESPN and Bleacher Report, they were all saying this. So I was wrong on that. Okay, let's go to the one I haven't talked about. Pittsburgh beating Atlanta 18-10. Start today. The team did not look good. I didn't see the game. I read the stats, and you had Russell Wilson got nixed for, who am I forgetting his name? I'm forgetting the quarterback who came in and actually beat Atlanta. Go figure. Pittsburgh beat Atlanta 18-10. Didn't see that one. I really thought Atlanta was winning that game. Buffalo beats Arizona in the final minutes, I think it was, if I'm correct, because it's 34-28. I'm almost positive that was back and forth. Arizona. I don't have faith in Kyler Murray, but he keeps proving me wrong. He's got the weapons, and even the weapons he has did not do anything. His number one receiver, Harrison. I think I heard one catch for 4 yards. You got an Atlanta comment start today? I'm sad about the Falcons. What do you think we should do? I'm lost. Dude, I don't know. I didn't see the game, so I don't know. You got a quarterback. You got a running back. Do you have a defense? I really don't know. I thought you did. Okay, next game. Oh, game. I'm glad I didn't put in my pick six. Thank God I didn't put in my pick six. New England beat Cincinnati in Cincinnati, 16-10. New England with no Belichick, no Brady, no Mac Jones, no nothing. They beat Cincinnati, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, even though he just came back, in their home. I would love to have my one Cincinnati Bengal friend. You know, the what's his name on here on my pool host. I love Houday. Myron Love. He's a big fan of Cincinnati. Would love to have him on and to hear what he had to say, because he can't be happy. There's no way he's happy. Good for New England. The new coach got his first win. We'll see how they do this week. Tight game in Indianapolis. Houston beats Indy 29-27. I had Houston. I have faith in Houston. I think they're winning the South. I really do. And they toughed this game out. Let's see how they do in the future. Talked about Miami. Carolina got destroyed. I think Carolina might not be, they're not going to say it, but I think Carolina's going to be either 0-17, 1-16. They want that number one pick. They lost it because they traded it to Chicago, whatever. They want that number one pick. They want to get you know what? I don't think they need a quarterback. They need a better team. They got the quarterback. Maybe they need a better coach. That's a possibility. Or coaches. What else I got? I don't want to talk about Giants anymore. Vegas going to Chargerland and SoFi Stadium. The Chargers won. I wouldn't have known that by Tony Tomadong's Facebook page 2 hours into the game. Because I didn't have a TV in front of me that I can hear anything. I'll get to that in a minute why I was doing that. But I saw the game and I'm like, they were winning. So something was up with the Chargers. They have all their players and they've done well. They're in a tough division, the Chargers. So this is a good win for them. They needed that. Seattle in overtime defeats Denver. Bo Nix, good, but not good enough. Seattle with their quarterback, I think it was my old quarterback from the Giants. They won and they did well. So I mean, they had to go to overtime and they figured it out. Dallas destroyed Cleveland. So like Ohio is now, and probably has been since Sunday, in a funk. That funk is just that's got to be stinking worse than the Erie Lake that they're on. Lake Erie, Lake Erie. Okay, now, why does it say the hell's wrong with my app? I don't get it. 3-0 Kansas City. Whatever. Anyway, my app's all screwed up now. So good on Dallas. Ezekiel Elliott. Let's be frank here. Everybody else played, and I'll get to where we're talking about. I should be talking about, but they just, as a whole, the team played really well. They were the best NFC East team, no doubt, this week. Like they were better than Philly. So we'll see. It's early. Tampa Bay destroyed Washington. Washington scored 20 points. Half of that, I think, was in garbage time. So, Tampa Bay, they look good, but are they going to be able to compete in the NFC South? with New Orleans, who they destroyed Carolina. Two more. Last game, the Sunday night game. Detroit beat the Rams. The Rams looked good. Unfortunately, they got a player hurt, and I'll talk about that next. That's part of the reason they lost. They have weapons, and when you lose one weapon, it could hurt. Their defense is not that strong. And Detroit just is. I mean, let's be real. Detroit is. Okay. NFL news and notes going into week 2. Rams head coach Sean McVay has clarified his earlier comments from yesterday and said Puka Nacua will be placed on IR due to his knee injury and will miss at least 4 games as per Adam Schefter. Very sad for me as I drafted Puka in my pool and got my butt kicked week 1. And I'll tell you why I got my butt kicked week 1. Mahomes didn't play well. He had 19 points. Should have had 29. I had Saquon, who did extremely well. But guess who else I had? It was up against, actually, Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown. And Jalen Hurts, I expected to get his points. I was hoping A.J. Brown didn't, but he tripled his points practically. I can't beat that. So, and the reason I couldn't hear any of the games, I was actually at a bar, restaurant. It was for my sister's birthday on Sunday. And she wanted to go to this place. It's Miller's, but it's in Ocean Township. So we're sitting there, and there's like 5 different TVs. Couldn't hear anything. So I couldn't hear Tom Brady do his analyzation, which I hear he was pretty good. Couldn't hear anybody else do any of the games. Except for Dallas. I heard the Dallas game. Like, they had the Dallas game, and you had Dallas fans behind us that were sitting behind us. Anytime Dallas would do something good, you hear screaming from the back. Okay, speaking of Dallas, Dak Prescott gets a new deal from the Cowboys just before the Cowboys-Browns game. To rephrase something from an old movie, it's good to be Dak. Also, Tyreek Hill handcuffed by police less than a mile from Hard Rock Stadium. What's the real story? So a lot's been coming up over the last 2 days with this. And someone on TMZ today that I heard, and I agree with him, there were faults on both parties. From everything I saw in that police video, there was fault on Tyreek for not obeying what the officer said. If he says you were speeding, that's not where you fight that fight. You fight that fight in court. You don't fight it there. Now, you did give your license. And that's where the cop should have went back and checked you out. And then again, you should never have shut your window. Dude, if you had your air conditioning on, turn it off. If you're talking to your agent, Drew Rosenhaus, say, dude, stay on my ear. I got pulled over. Just tell him what's going on. All you had to do was tell him, here's my license. Do what you got to do. Maybe you say, you know who I am. You know where I have to be. Can you do this in an expedient amount of time? Something like that. Like, that would have been acceptable. And then, what can they do? They can't pull you out of the car if you give them this and say, be more reasonable. He was disrespectful. That was the problem. When you're disrespectful to the police, doesn't matter the color, you will agitate them. I'm not trying to get political here, but this is... I grew up around police. I grew up around firemen. He was disrespectful. His teammates need to understand he was disrespectful. But that did not give the cop the right to do what he did. There was no reason that I saw... And I'm sorry, when you're disrespectful, you don't deserve a knee in your back. And the resisting, again, that's not disrespectful, but he's in the moment and he's freaking out. That's going to come back to bite him. my guess. But this is what his teammates need to understand. He was at fault, but so was the cop. Or cops. There was multiple there. I think this came out real quick because they saw how disrespectful he was. And they also saw how the cop took it too far. I think that's why it came out so quickly, too. I got a comment. Let's see. Miller's Ale House. Great margaritas. I guess, yeah. I mean, I didn't have a margarita. I had it my usual Angry Orchard. Love Angry Orchard. That's one of my favorites. Okay, so like I said, that's my little rant, tiff. If you guys want to comment on that, I get it. You know, want to disagree, agree. It's a free world. You know, I know what I saw. I know what I feel, and I know what I think. So I'll leave it at that. Next, Drew Bledsoe interviewed and talked about, quote, Parcells replaced me with Romo. If you didn't hear the interview, I will catch you up. I'll paraphrase. So in this thing, I think it was during it might have been during the Giant game. They were talking about Brady and this and that, or was it Sunday Night Football? It was one of the two? Was it Sunday Night Football or was it the Giant game? Because I watched both. And they talked about this interview with Drew Bledsoe. And Drew says, and I think it has to do with Brady. Because, remember, Drew Bledsoe was replaced from injury with Tom Brady. Tom Brady it took over in New England. Now, a year later, he goes to Dallas and plays for Parcells. Romo comes up a year later after that. And the difference was that Romo thought he was God's gift to football, and Tom Brady kept asking questions while Bledsoe was there. And that's where he said Brady was better for the simple fact that Romo just didn't take anything under consideration or take any advice. That's saying something. You know, when you think your blank don't stink, and that's what he was saying Romo said, that his blank didn't stink. If you didn't see the video, look it up. It's very interesting, I gotta say. All right. On my pick 6 for NFL Week 2, here we go. I'm a glutton for punishment. But we are playing Washington. Let me see where. Hold on. Let me see if I can go to here without. So we're playing Washington in Washington. We've beaten them there before. We have a team that can beat them there again. It's not the team we saw last week. I grant you that. The team we saw last week will not beat Washington. Will probably not beat anybody. That team needs to progress. That team needs... Again, this is why I said, and I haven't said it on the podcast, I don't think. I have said, you need to have the starters play in preseason. They looked like they hadn't played in a year. That's a problem. So I do think the Giants win. It's going to be a low-scoring game, more kicks, 17-13. It's going to be more kicker than it's going to be, a quarterback. I think our defense shows up. Our defense figures out that we're not as bad as we were the week before. The defensive coordinator, I think he's got his what together. Okay, so I got that. I got Jets over Tennessee, 31-21. Tennessee could not handle Chicago. I don't think Tennessee is going to handle the Jets coming off a loss that they had. Aaron Rodgers is upset. There's players on that team that are upset. They know they could have done better. This is how they're going to start their run. Miami over Buffalo. This is tough. You see the score, 28-27. It could go either way. Buffalo could win this game. If this Tyreek Hill stuff still is going on, Buffalo could win this game. It's in Miami, though, right? Yes, Thursday night in Miami. I'm going 1-point game. Miami wins. Baltimore over Vegas. The line is actually 9.5, if I remember correctly. So I think Vegas is going to show up because it's in Vegas, right? Let's see. No, it's in Baltimore. I think Vegas is going to shock people. They lost last week, but I think they're going to show up to maybe somewhat, shock. So they're going to shock Vegas, I think. I'll tell you that. Anyway. Okay, next. Houston over Chicago. That's going to be close. That is the Sunday night game. Chicago's in Houston. I think maybe Houston could be winning by more. I think it could be 28 or 32-21. But I'll go 24-21. I'll make it a close game. A lot of Sunday night games tend to be real close. Simple as that. And then obviously the Monday night game, I got Philly over Atlanta. Sorry start today. You're in Philly. You'll be lucky to get 13 points off of that defense. I'm telling you straight up. They lost Hassan Riddick, and they're better. The defense can play. I don't suspect Atlanta getting more than 13 points, unless your quarterback has an epiphany somehow. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, Monday night changes things. They're in Philly. Remember, what's his name? Jason Kelce will be there. It's going to be a little, and there's going to be an energy there. Mark Leiter's in the 6th. Oh, this is good. Mark Leiter. He's a good kid, but if he's in the 6th, that means we're not doing good. Okay, so that's my pick 6 for the week. So I got Giants, I got Jets, I got Miami, I got Baltimore, I got Houston, and I got Philly. All right. Go through these pretty quick because 31 minutes on NFL football. NCAA Week 2 picks. I lost SMU BYU. Like you see, I put 3 points. BYU won by 3 points. That's more like a push game for me, so I'll take the loss. Northwestern, Duke. Duke had to go to 2 overtimes to beat Northwestern. That was the tough game. So that's another loss for me. Texas, Michigan. I thought it'd be a high-scoring game. I did not realize Michigan had no quarterback. My bad, yet I still won. I'm good. So that's a win for me. Rutgers, Akron. I was very surprised Rutgers can score 49 points. I'd love to know what was the highest score Rutgers ever scored. Like 49 points, I did not think was in their realm. So, I thought 27-13 was a good score. 49-17, wow. But that's a win. So I did all the wins. I collected all the wins and losses at the end. You'll see. Penn State, Bowling Green. Much closer than that game should have been. I'm sorry. Penn State's you're 8 seed for a reason. You need to be better. Next game. I don't know what happened here. If you saw this game, I don't know what happened here. I said Notre Dame 48-17. I remember even saying something about how Notre Dame's going to be this, I didn't think NIU was going to get more than 17, I was right. They got 16. But Notre Dame only scored 14. That's bad. You're in South Bend, Indiana, and you lose to a low-level, FBS team. And now NIU's on the national stage. I think they're on BTN or one of the whatever network they're on. It's a higher network. It's not quite NBC or CBS or ABC or ESPN, but NIU's getting recognized now. They looked good. Like they looked like it was 110% easy. Utah, Baylor. I got that right, thankfully. Iowa State. Ouch. By 1, I lost that game. By 1. I'll get to the comment when I'm done with this. Kentucky, Carolina. Did not see that coming. Carolina destroyed Kentucky. I'll have to reassess Kentucky down the road. Kansas, Illinois. Lost that one. Illinois beat Kansas. These ranked teams going down. This is parody at its best. It really is. Air Force, I thought as a, son of a military, not son, but grandson of a military person, I like picking these military teams against other teams, and They just unfortunately can't score. They lost 17-7 to San Jose State. 14th ranked Tennessee, I had beating NC State. They destroyed NC State. NC State is now not in the top 25 anymore because of this. And then I got one more banner. Clemson, Appalachian State. I didn't think Clemson would destroy Appalachian State, but they did. Like, Appalachian State scored 20 instead of 17, but Clemson just went offensively nuts, and I think they might have had even a defensive score. This was my upset. I was this close. If this happened, this would have been all over SportsCenter on Saturday night into Sunday. I almost had this. I said Boise State 27-24. It was Oregon 37-34. If there's any ESPN people, I'm doing well in this. I think I need to be on ESPN. Anyway, 15 Oklahoma. I had over Houston. Got that, but that was... Since when does Oklahoma not score? Like, what happened there? Texas Tech, 31-27. Washington State blew my mind. That put me at under 500 for the first time in God knows how long in college. 22-10 is my now record for this. Okay, comment. I don't even know what that is, dude. I don't know that symbol. Oh, it looks like a margarita, I guess. Okay. The week 3? No, yeah, here we go. Here's my week 3 picks. I'll run through them real quick. Friday night. Friday the 13th. Arizona, 21. At Kansas State, 31. So I see Kansas State winning that game. Alabama, 48. Wisconsin, 21. I see Alabama winning that game. Arkansas State, 16. Michigan, 35. They're going to figure out that their quarterback is going to be that Orji kid. Yeah, I'm saying it right. Orji. O-R-G. So O-R-J-I. That's how you spell his name. Orji. He's the quarterback. I think he's going to be the kid that takes them to wherever they're going to go. They're going to beat Arkansas State pretty easily. Miami, for my buddy Jim down in Florida, this is for you. 52-7, Ball State. I bet you he thinks they're going to shut them out. That's just me. Notre Dame against Purdue. Notre Dame has to have a comeback game. They're going to destroy Purdue. Like, they're upset. They're going to destroy Purdue. VMI playing Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech needs a win. They're going to get it against VMI. Appalachian State needs a win. They got East Carolina in East Carolina. I think they do it by 6. Utah against Utah State. So I got another state versus regular school. Utah is a very tough school. There's talk that they're a top 12 team and they're in the 12th spot right now. They could make the playoff. I think they beat outright 38-21. UConn versus Duke. Usually I wouldn't put this game on. That's a basketball team, both of them. But they're getting bigger in football. Duke has been getting better. They will win this game. UTSC versus Texas. If it's a 56-point win, I wouldn't be surprised. As I wrote there, 62-6. Georgia, number 1 seed, beating Kentucky 54-21. Might even be less. Kentucky has not been that good. Northern Iowa against Nebraska. Like I said, they're playing another big team. Now, obviously, this was on the schedule, but they now know how to play these teams. They're going to come close. I think Nebraska wins this game. Next, Colorado at Colorado State. Colorado's going to win a lot of close games. Colorado will win this game by a touchdown, I think. Kent State versus Tennessee. Tennessee blow them out 55-13. BYU at Wyoming. I think BYU will win. BYU and Utah will be going at each other in their conference. 35-21 BYU. SDSU 17. California 31. Just one late night games. I think California's a little bit better. SDSU is becoming a big-time football school. We'll see how well they do. And then I had to find Monmouth who they were playing. they're playing in Maine. They've looked good the last two games. They can't get over that hurdle to win a game. I still think they lose this game. Maine 31, Monmouth University 28. That's 17 games I'm picking. So we'll see. Two comments I got. Mr. Chaz, I just want to say I'm really liking the Winnie the Pooh painting win. Yeah, that's Beth's. I think Beth painted it. I don't know. I don't know if she did or not. What's this? You need a wingman or woman in the empty seat. Yeah, Beth isn't coming in. I promise you that. Promise you that. Okay, let's go to baseball. Hey, 10 minutes on college, not too bad. Breaking news as of yesterday: the Martian, Jasson Dominguez, is with the New York Yankees and has I wrote hey, but has 6 series. The Yankees have 6 series left. 19 games as of Monday, yesterday, and are in first in the AL by a half game over Baltimore. I've said they have to go at least 13-6, or even 15-4. They go 15-4, they have to sweep 2 teams. Well, they're not doing it right now with the Royals. They got the Red Sox in 4 games on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We have to be beating teams at home. I don't understand the Yankees not beating these teams at home. I didn't even go to any of these things. I gotta take some of these down. Sorry. Oh, and I did my picks for ESPN too. Okay, I don't think I need to say that. Okay, so breaking news, like I said, Jasson Dominguez, he was batting 6th in the order last night. I don't know what he did. What was I watching last night? Football, duh. At least for a little bit, I was watching football. I didn't even watch Raw, so I'll go over the Raw stuff in a little bit. So at 15-4, we have to win 2 series. I mean, sweep 2 series, and we have to win every series. The Yankees, I feel, will win every series. They just have to start playing better, and maybe Judge needs to try to go for 60. He's not going for 70. I was so off on that for whatever reason. And yeah, so we'll see. I'm curious on how this is going to go. Like I said, there's a number 6 series, 19 games as of yesterday. They won yesterday. I believe so. I did see that they won yesterday. So we'll see. And then this one is even more curious. Mets on a 9-game winning streak. I think it might be 10 now. I think they won last night, if I'm correct. Could they finish as a playoff-bound team in the NL? And not only that, could they finish as a team in the wild card that could be a shocker team? They could be, but they have to have the pitching to do it. That's going to be the key. They have to have the pitching. Yeah, they definitely need a sweep. I agree. So I'm hopeful that the Mets move on, because honestly, that would make better commentary for me. But we'll see. I mean, that's, like I said, there's not only so much I could talk about with that. So let's do my normal take on MLB reports from Anthony DiComo and Brian Hawk. So I'll do the Mets first. Anthony DiComo. This came out today, September 10th. Since Major League Baseball renamed its top humanitarian award to honor Roberto Clemente, 4 Puerto Rican players have won it. Edgar Martinez in 2004, Carlos Delgado, in 06, Carlos Beltran in 13, and Yadier Molina in 18. Francisco Lindor, who grew up learning about Clemente in school, understands what these 4 mean to the island. He knows what an honor it is, and just to be nominated for the award is, as Lindor was this week, is the 2nd consecutive year, and he knows how impactful it would be to Puerto Ricans if he managed to become the 5th player from that territory to win. That would be pretty cool. Every social studies class there were talking about Clemente. Lindor says, bringing the award back to Puerto Rico, I think that's what the school system wanted. I think that's what they teach so much about Clemente, so that we keep becoming good humanitarians, that we become good people. That's pretty interesting. I don't know who else is up for this Roberto Clemente award, but, hopefully he wins. All right, Mets fans. Which native Canadian position player has produced the most career B WAR as a Met? Now, I don't even know what B WAR is. But the four answers are Jason Bay, Tim Harkness, John Olerud, and Mike Nikias. Well, whatever B WAR possibly is, I would think John Olerud is the guy. Let's see who the answer is. Oh no, Jason Bay. I was incorrect. I want to hold on to that. Okay. Who's wearing the MLB? I'll leave that alone for next week because we'll be a lot closer to see who, what, and where teams are, and who's in and who's out. Like that's what we're going to be going into with MLB playoffs coming up soon. I'll skip the Hawk one too. It's just about it's a minor league stuff that isn't necessarily. It's more for 2025, so I don't want to even talk about 2025 right now. All right, WWE Bad Blood on October 5th, exclusively on Peacock. What matches are up so far? What happened on Raw last night? What happened on SmackDown on Friday? This Friday, also, WWE SmackDown comes to USA Network. Not that I'm doing a promo or anything, but, you know, that is actually happening. So, let me get to it. There is 3 matches actually set for Bad Blood. So we got, and I didn't know this because I obviously didn't watch wrestling last night. We got Damian Priest versus Finn Balor. That's going to be for a non-title match. That's a hell of a match. Women's World Champion Liv Morgan finally defending against Rhea Ripley. I think Rhea gets her title back. McIntyre to face CM Punk. So Drew McIntyre will face CM Punk inside a Hell in a Cell. I think that's a better match. The strap match didn't do much for their rivalry other than shock people that CM Punk could actually drag his ass around. Excuse my French. I didn't think he could do it, but he did it. So those are the 3 matches. Let's go to Raw. What happened on Raw last night? Like I said, I didn't watch Raw. I know there was a lot going down. I talked about it in my, brief that I talked about. So let's see the results. I am curious. So, okay. The top thing, Jey Uso wins Intercontinental title #1 contenders tournament. Love it. So that's going to be a Bad Blood, more than likely. I wanted to see Jey Uso. Now I'm happy that Jey Uso is going to be there. That's really, really cool. So he beat... who did he beat? Let's see. No, we'll get to that. First things first. The Wyatt Sicks conquer American made it in a street fight. Uncle Howdy looking from his rocking chair. A vicious 8-person mixed tag street fight, putting the Wyatt Sicks against Chad Gable and the Creed Brothers and Ivy Nile. Let's see. Who is... Do they show... They don't even show the names of the 6 people. That's a little strange. Okay, so they didn't show the names of the 6 people. So they won that match. Moments after Damian Priest agreed to Finn Balor's challenge for a match at WWE Bad Blood, the Prince, Liv Morgan, Dirty Dom, Carlito, and JD. I guess Damian Priest is being called the Prince now? That's just weird. Okay. Attacked Priest and still injured Rhea Ripley. Okay, so that happened, and that's been happening now 3 weeks in a row. For that gets old. WWE fans know this. That stuff gets old. WWE Tag Team Champions Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill defeated the Unholy Union of we got our names there? No, we don't. No, we don't. They don't have their names. Okay. There it is. Alba Frye and Isla something. Isla Fire. No. Alba Fire, Isla Dawn. That's it. So that's that match. That happened. So that means Cargill and Bianca will have another match somewhere down the road with somebody else, more than likely. World Heavyweight Champion Gunther insulted Bret the Hitman Hart, promoting Sami Zayn to rush And then Sami Zayn rushed to the WWE Hall of Famer's defense. Hart called out Gunther's cowardice for refusing Sami Zayn's World Heavyweight Championship challenge. That's funny. And since I can't actually play the video, is what happened. So, Dominik Mysterio defeats Dragon Lee. I'm guessing by help from his loving girlfriend. Natalya, Lyra Valkyria, and Zelina Vega defeat Pure Fusion Collective. Okay. So in her hometown, she wins. So that happens. In their hometown, they win. Drew confronted by Wade Barrett about getting in the way of his confrontation with CM Punk. Wow. So Wade Barrett trying to be a friend to Drew McIntyre. McIntyre's not having it. McIntyre learned he will face CM Punk inside Hell in the Cell. Okay. Mysterio defeated Finn Balor by disqualification. That's interesting. Jey Uso then defeated Braun Strowman, Ilja, Dragunov, and Pete Dunne to win the Intercontinental title. And then at moments after, Brig Bronson Reed attacked Braun Strowman and put him through the announce table, and Dragunov and so so he can get Jey Uso in front of him. Even if Jey Uso doesn't beat him, honestly, I think Jey Uso becomes a bigger player in a bigger role somewhere else. Really, Kansas City 4-0 now? My God. Now let's go to the two comments. How long have they done Bad Blood? Meaning it's been around a while. I think they bring it back and forth every once in a great while. I'll be right back going to White Castle. That's funny. Anyway. So this is also happening. I'll talk about SmackDown. I think something happened, so I'll talk about that. NXT, which serves as a showcase for WWE's developmental talent, is currently airing on USA on Tuesdays, but will move to the CW in October on a new 5-year deal value that was reported to about 20 to 25 million. Wow, WWE is getting a lot of money for this. So let's see what happened on SmackDown real quick. I can get a drink. Something happened with Cody. Bloodline conquered the Street Profits and DIY as SmackDown says goodbye to Fox. So yeah, this was the last match on Fox too. Bayley defeated Stratton after Jack's interference fails. That's interesting. LA Knight hits BFTs on Carmelo Hayes and Andrade. I guess that was a triple threat. A-Town Down Under takes out Owens after his win. We'll see how long A-Town Down stays A-Town Down, because I don't know, that's just a team that doesn't look like they're going to stay on. Chelsea Green fears Mishin's equalizer. Chelsea Green is not the best of wrestlers. Mishin's pretty damn good. 8-man tag. That was the Street Profits with somebody else. DIY against the Bloodline. Okay. So, like I said, hopefully SmackDown gets better on USA. And from what I'm reading, and I don't know how this is true with Raw, because I now hear Raw is going to be 2 hours and SmackDown's going to be 3. I think Raw will stay to 3 for now. And then SmackDown on Friday will go to 3. Because, and obviously, for everybody who knows why when Fox had SmackDown, they could only be on for 2 hours because the news was on at 10. So that's why. Now they can go for 3. They can extend storylines. They can make new storylines. This is gonna. You can even bring people from NXT into SmackDown now. That's going to be interesting for SmackDown. Okay. Now that I've pretty much talked myself out at 53 minutes, let's go to this. We had 2 legends pass away yesterday. If you haven't heard, and I'm sure most people have, James Earl Jones died yesterday at the age of 93. And also New York Mets Hall of Famer Ed Kranepool, who was in the 1969 World Series, died at 79. I'll talk about James Earl Jones first. I mean, look, I'll go to his Google. It says certain things that are very factual and appropriate. James Earl Jones was an American actor known for his film roles and for much of his work in theater. He's been described as one of America's most distinguished and versatile actors for his performances on stage and screen. He has also been called one of the greatest actors in American history, which it's hard to dispute that he is. I mean, he's been in all these different. Let's go over his films, and I'm not going in order. I'm just going Google order. Coming to America, 1988. Lion King. It says 2019, but there's an earlier, obviously, Lion King. Conan the Barbarian, 1982. The Sandlot, 1993. And if you didn't know he was in The Sandlot, watch it, you'll see it. Field of Dreams, 1989. Coming to America, 2021. Spoiler alert, he dies in that movie. Return of the Jedi, obviously, as Darth Vader. The Hunt for Red October. Clear and Present Danger in 1994. Let's see. My Little Girl, 1987. The Reading Room, 2005. Freddy the Frog, 1992. I don't know that one. Finder's Fee, 2001. Sneakers, 1992. Good Luck, 1996. I mean, some I don't know, some I do. Blood Tide. Wow, that Patriot Games. He was in 1992 Patriot Games. Judge Dredd, 1995. He was in a lot of freaking movies. Heat Wave, 1990. What's it? Gang Related, 1997. Just a ton of movies. The fact that he did all these movies and then had time to do theater, go figure. He was in Benchwarmers. The Benchwarmers 2006 movie with I can't get their names. David Spade and I'm forgetting the other two. Bunch of they're comedians. I can't think of these guys. Let me go to it. Benchwarmers. David Spade, Rob Schneider, John Hader, Nick Swardson, Dennis Dugan, and Dugan I think might have been he was a director, and John Lovitz. Yeah, besides James Earl Jones. I mean, he was Darth Vader. That was like the number one thing. He was Darth Vader. And if you didn't see in the New York area, Empire State Building had yesterday on their side of their building kind of a shadow figure of a red Darth Vader, but with black on the inside. Really cool. If you didn't see it, it's a really cool thing to try to find. He was in also something called Three Fugitives in 1989. Obviously, Star Wars 77. That was when he first originated Darth Vader. Another movie he was in, if you didn't see it, I'm looking at it right now. It's called, and I saw it and I didn't realize it was him. The Bingo Long Traveling All-Stars and Motor Kings. I saw this on a show or on a channel. I couldn't get off it. It was him playing in a baseball team, and it was a baseball story. And young James Earl Jones was amazing to watch. It absolutely was amazing to watch. 2 comments. The Castles say, "Hi, King Chaz." You got me on at White Castle. That's funny. So very sad. We lost a good one. James Earl Jones, absolutely one of the best all time. Now I can't do enough to memorialize him. But I would love to wish to know him. You know what he was on to, and people forget this. He was on TV. He was on Big Bang Theory as himself. If you can go back and watch that, it's a very interesting episode that he has with Sheldon Cooper. So it was a very funny, very interesting video. Which, if you see more of that one episode, who's also in that episode is Carrie Fisher, as Carrie Fisher. It's a funny scene. It's been on Facebook a lot today. If you see it, enjoy it. It's a funny thing. Now, to a man I don't really know as much, Ed Kranepool. A lot of my Met fan friends do. A lot of my Met fan people I listen to do and talk about Ed Kranepool. So, went to Bleacher Report. Ed Kranepool, the longest tenured New York Met who played a pivotal role in the 1969 World Series champions, died Sunday after suffering from a cardiac arrest. He was 79. The Mets owners, Steve and Alex Cohen, released a statement. We are incredibly heartbroken to learn Ed Kranepool's passing. He was an original Met who debuted at the age of 17 in 1962. Did not know that. After starring at James Monroe High School in the Bronx, to all you Bronx people that watch me at some point, he would go on to play for his hometown team for the next 18 years, the longest tenured player in franchise history, appearing in 1,853 games with the Mets. Ed hit a home run in Game 3 of the 1969 World Series to help the Miracle Mets capture a title. He was inducted into the Mets Hall of Fame in 1990. Ed continued his work tirelessly in the community on behalf of the organization after his playing career ended. We cherish the time we spent with Ed during Alzheimer's Day in the years since. Hearing Mets stories and history from Ed was an absolute joy. We extend our thoughts and prayers with his family. Numerous Mets also said something about Kranepool, Ron Swoboda, Cleon Jones, a bunch of guys. Kranepool played first base for the 1969 Mets, which certainly didn't enter the season as World Series with World Series expectations. During 62, the Mets lost 100 games. It was like 110 or something like that. The team improved to 73 and 89 and 68, but that was the only good enough for ninth place in a 10-team National League. Look up baseball history, what it was back in those days, in the 60s. You didn't have 3 divisions of 5 teams. You had 10 teams, and you had to be in the top of that conference or that division. If you weren't the top of the AL, you weren't in the World Series. It's not like it used to be. Like now is everybody gets in, or half the teams get in. Back then it was 2. Like yeah, we had to be special to be going to the World Series, and they did for twice in 69 and 73. So we lost 2 big ones, 2 good ones, and we go here now. I can talk about this since it's coming up. Okay. On MTV, the 2024 MTV Video Music Awards will be handed out on Tuesday. Oh, wait, that's now. So they've been going on. So a lot of them I don't know. There obviously it's Taylor Swift and a few other people. So that's on right now. I'm sure I'll catch it. But more than likely, if the one person or so, and I did see 5, so at some point 5 people were watching. More than likely you're not watching this right now because it's 9:03 and the presidential debate is on right now, which I'm having DVR'd as we speak. So, and I'm not going to talk politics, but like I said, that's on. So I can see why people aren't watching this right now and probably will not be watching that right now. But there's a lot of different performances, I'm sure, which I'll probably check out online. Eminem might actually be there too, so that'll be interesting. A Video Vanguard Award is going to Katy Perry. Congratulations, Katie. Now you're getting an award. And most of these Vanguards are not old anymore. You're in the business for 20 years, boom, you get something. So, and then Eminem's supposed to perform. That'll be interesting. Excuse me. I haven't listened to Eminem yet, so at least the new album. And when I do, I do plan to listen to it from beginning to end. But like, I'm curious on that. And while I'm on this, I want to talk about something that it's not deep into my soul, but I was a big fan of Linkin Park when they were as a whole, and Chester Benningfield, was their lead singer, and he, has since passed. He committed suicide, like many musicians have done in the past, and now Linkin Park has replaced him in the band with somebody else. Let me Google her up. Linkin. Her name is Emily Armstrong. She's the new singer of Linkin with Linkin Park. New drummer too, actually, if I remember correctly. Didn't see his name necessarily, but I do know there's a new drummer. So I watched their first video. It's good. It doesn't quite sound like Linkin Park, but it's good. You know what it sounds like, and it sounds like a bash, but it's really not. It sounds like Evanescence with a different type of band, like Amy Lee with a different type of band than Evanescence. That's what this sounds like. So she's got a nice raspy voice, like some of these other rock women do have, like Lizzie Hale and stuff like that. I'm going to give her a chance. And from what I've heard of her doing some of the other songs, the older songs, I don't have a bad opinion of it because it's her take on it. So Emily Armstrong, for me, will get that shot for, to grow as a Linkin Park, lead singer. We'll see. I know there's a lot of people that have strong feelings on this. I get it. But my opinion, I think she's going to be good enough to at least hold her own. Okay. A couple more things, not a lot more. 76th Emmy nominations were announced weeks ago. It airs on the 15th, which is 5 days from now. Being hosted by the Levy family, Dan and Eugene. You know them both from Schitt's Creek. You know Eugene from American Pie and other things. Dan Levy is also in that commercial with the SNL girl. I can't think of her name, for the Homes.com or something. It's at the Peacock Theater in Los Angeles, California. Jim Henson, creative artist, idea man, he'll win. Yeah. Well, if Jim Henson wins, he should win something. I do agree on that. See the winners? No. Presenters. Is it on Apple TV too? Okay, well, it'll be on ABC. It'll be interesting to watch, I'm sure, if you know some of these shows that you watch. See who wins. Maybe once the winners come out, I'll talk about it next week. I won't talk about that because that's going to be next week. All right. Birthdays of the week. Here we go. Comment. Do you play an instrument or write music or poetry or maybe paint? I do none of those, dude. I barely have time to do this. I don't have... I did want to play drums at one point. That's not happening anytime soon. My boys, on the other hand, will be learning how to play drums. Hunter will. And Aiden wants to play the flute. So they're going to practice that. And now Aiden wants to play baseball. So he's going to be attempting to play baseball. I think either this fall or next spring. We'll see. So Hunter, who's been playing for 3 years, Aiden will now start playing baseball. So we'll see how that works out. Now, birthdays. Yesterday's birthday. Kevin my mouth is not working. Give me a second. Kevin Schubert. It was his birthday yesterday, and he's a bowler friend of mine from many years ago at Strathmore. Lisa Del Vecchio, classmate of mine. I'm guessing she's like 48. I'm gonna be hitting that soon. So Lisa, my classmate from St. Jerome's, going way back then. Okay, friends' birthdays today. My buddy Dave Casalonis, turned 46 today. My teammate in 2020, my bowling teammate, were Beth, myself, my teammate Ricardo, and Kaz won the Woodbridge League on Tuesday night, one of those nights. And then COVID hit and we were done. But we won that league by 2 weeks. So that's one of the 2 championship teams I've ever been on when it comes to, amateur bowling. So Dave, happy birthday. Chuck Davis, says Charles Davis there, but he's mostly known by Chuck, and he was a lieutenant in the Eatontown Police Department. Long retired. Happy birthday, Chuck. Father Gary Koch. wasn't father for a while when I knew him, but he's now a priest, and he's actually the pastor at St. Benedict's in Homedale. Father Gary Koch, happy birthday today. I know I've said it to you on LinkedIn and Facebook. You've thanked me on both, and I appreciate that. And Joey Bravo, if you don't know who this man is, Google him. He is a top horse racer in the industry. He used to race in Monmouth Park. I was at his house. Here's a short story. So I was delivering pizza, okay, back when I first got my license, got my car in Eatontown at Rufino's. And the owner knew Joe Bravo, who lived in the Woodmere section of Eatontown. So Joe was having this party, and I had to deliver so many pizzas. Okay, so I was bringing this to his house. He told me I got told to come in through the side, which was his game room entertainment area. I walk in and I see the room I want in the house when I ever get the money or win the lottery. And this was back when I was 20 years old. I walk in, couch here, TV here, big TV on the right as I walk in. A video game. And next to the video game, ping pong, what am I forgetting? Crap. Pinball machine right next to the video game. And then farther at the end where I was bringing the pizza, a bar with refrigerator, beer, wine, you name it. Joey Bravo, you had it. You had, and what I want and what I have wanted since I've seen that. So that's my Joe Bravo story. He's a great horse guy. He's probably the best horse racer out of Monmouth Park. He's now moved to California, if I'm correct, although I thought he took a trip to Florida before he went to California. And he's still racing from what I understand. All right, more birthdays. Tomorrow. Now, I know tomorrow's a different day, and I'll talk about that. But I know some people don't celebrate nowadays, and for the 11th, and I get it. But I'm going to wish you a happy birthday anyway, because it is your birthday. Nick Falzone, my buddy from Amazon down in Robbinsville, 38 years old, happy birthday. My brother-in-law, Mike Porcelana, 61 years old, happy birthday. Peter Caracos, the third, 47. Almost positive you're also another Amazon guy. I've been friends with you, and I can't figure you out. I haven't looked, It is what it is. Yes, I'm doing birthdays. I see the comment. Let's see. Yes, happy birthday, everyone. Exactly. Anyway. Dave Klein Jr., bowling. He was a bowling director when I was director. I think he might still be a director. I believe he's going in the Hall of Fame this year for Monmouth County. Happy birthday, Dave. Johnny Petraglia Jr., if you know the name because he's a bowler, that's his son. He's friendly in the Monmouth County area. He's now in Vegas. He runs his own pro shop out there. Happy birthday, Johnny. He's 40 years old today, or tomorrow. Now, Thursday, Mike Tice. I've met him once. I know him. I've known him for 2 years, roughly. He's been in my football pool. He's one of the 34 people in my football pool. Happy birthday, Mike, 35 years old. Greg Cipher, the brother of a bowling friend who I was actually his teammate for a little bit. He's 35. And Cameron Jones, my UPS brother. He's been on an episode. If you look back in my early episodes of where I was actually talking to somebody, that's my African American friend. I'll say it like that. I'll go PC. My African American friend, Cameron Jones. Happy birthday, 42 on Thursday. More Thursdays. Philip Ryan, an Eatontown friend, down the street from where I lived, 46 years old. Marcia, I'm saying it right. It's Marcia Morris from Amazon. Happy birthday. Ashley Berry from Acme. Happy birthday on Thursday. Friday, we got 4. Robin Robinson, bowler from down in Monmouth County, South Monmouth County, like Bradley Beach area. She's 57. Jeffrey Geller, another bowler. You're going to see a lot of bowlers that I'm friends with that they have birthdays. It happens. I have like at least 200 bowling friends, at least, that I've at least, have in my contacts. 58 years old. Jeffrey Geller. He runs the Outcast League on Thursday night. Mike Farley, Beth's godmother's son, who Beth knows very well. It's his birthday on Friday, 54 years old. And Chris Kohler, who is another one of my Eatontown friends, more family friend of the Kawas's. Chris Kohler is his birthday on Friday. One birthday on Saturday. My former classmate, we were only classmates for a few years, Amanda Crawford, but she goes by Amanda Corwin now. She's 48. And 2 Sunday birthdays. Jeanette Jarman from Acme. I think I forget how I know or which Acme she was in. I want to say Freehold, but I could be wrong. And then Debbie Cloby, one of my closest UPS friends and colleagues. She's still there. God help her. I still see these posts every Friday of the UPS crew who works in the Smalls area in Tinton Falls. They're still going at it, and she's a woman who was around my mother way back when, and during their Avon days. That's how long. I didn't know Debbie then, but I knew Debbie after. That was the connection that we had. All right, last thing before I'm done. Let me get the ticker off. All right, tomorrow is September 11th, 2000, and then this is celebrating the wrong word, not the right word. So September 11th, 2001. We all know where we were. If we were alive then, we all know where we were when this happened. This is a day of remembrance for us in the United States. A day that will live in infamy in the U.S. history and in the hearts of those that lost someone that day in New York City, Washington, D.C., and Shanksville, Pennsylvania. I hope that people out there who watch this tonight, watch this tomorrow, at 8:44, have this in your thoughts. It's been 23 years since this travesty. It's a tragedy. It's every word you can think of in the book. I'm lucky enough I didn't lose a soul in my family. But a friend did. A friend I was working with at the time. She lost her brother. And I think about that every year. I finally got up there and I got to see his name a couple years ago. And I know I promoted at Monmouth County's doing something where they're doing it. And one of these days, I hope I can go back. It'll probably have to be a weekend again. In Atlantic Highlands, they have a Mount something. I deleted it, so I don't even know what it is now. But anywhere in New Jersey, New York, D.C., Pennsylvania, and the rest of the country for that matter, if you have any feeling in what happened 23 years ago, make sure you think about this at 8:44 tomorrow. I've already texted my boss, and I said, because we have meetings at 8:45, I said, I don't know if Kerry does this, but I think we should at least have a moment of silence before at that time for what that time represents on that day. And she agreed. I probably wouldn't have said it if she didn't, but she agreed. She said, that's a great idea, and we're going to do it. It's deep rooted for me because I remember that day. I tell that story every 11th of September of where I was, what I was listening to. I probably said it last year. So, like I said, I'm not trying to make an impassioned plea, but I think you all should try to do something to remember the day. And from what I'm also hearing, that the government's trying to make this a day of remembrance where all businesses are shut down. I don't know if all of them can. I think supermarkets and other things like that would have to stay open. I don't see them closing, but big businesses would close. Businesses like mine. And I would love that if they did that. Because then I can go to this mountain area in Atlantic Highlands and be able to reflect there instead of having to reflect at work. You know, so I'm not trying to get emotional here. That's really for tomorrow, but so. All right, an hour and 19 minutes. I really rushed through this. I really did. Sorry about not putting you on too much start today. Like I said, I'm tired. You can hear it in my voice. It's going. But I appreciate the talk about my hair. Yeah, I'm trying to look a little bit younger. You know, I'm just trying to feel younger too because my body's aching. And I wanted to look good. And I haven't done this in 10 years. So I felt this was the right time to do it. And to the person who said I look old, and it wasn't on here, so don't anybody think I said that you said something on here. Nobody said it on this page. They said it on my social media page. They said I looked older than him, and it was a little frustrating when he said that. And I went back at him. I didn't go completely back, but I'm like, dude, I am older than you by a year. I'm older, but other than this. That's old. And I'm losing a little hair here. I feel younger just by looking at it every day. And I'm happy with that. So, again, if anyone wants to join on the conversation, please contact me at chazroyalty.com. I would really love to banter with you about anything from sports or birthdays or anything else in between. Truly anything else in between. And unless something else happens prior to this, the next show will be episode 54, September 17th, Tuesday, September 17th at 8 p.m. Again, we're getting closer to playoffs for MLB. We'll be talking about week 2 NFL. We'll be talking about week 3 of college. And remember, Bad Blood comes in a little bit. I'll probably even talk about the Emmy nomination, see who won, maybe even a little bit of the MTV Awards if I know anybody. And then the one I've left for next week, and I'll talk about it a little bit, although I might not even watch it, is the Golden Bachelorette. That's pretty much it. I hope you all have a good week, and hopefully the Giants win a game. That's all. Have a good night. Sleep tight, America.